Hello viewers, today we will discuss the topic what is the difference between the sub-agent and the co-agent. Sub-agent and the co-agent control. A sub-agent works under the control of an agent. A co-agent works under the instruction of the principal. Contact. There is no contact between the sub-agent and the principal. There is a contact between the co-agent and the principal. Responsibility. The agent is responsible to the principal for the act of a sub-agent. The agent is not responsible to the principal for the acts of a substituted agent. If the agent, while selecting the substituted agent, exercised the same amount of the discretion as a man of ordinary prudence would exercise in his own case. Termination. A sub-agent is automatically terminated if the authority of agent is revoked by the principal, or co-agent is not affected by the termination of the original agency. Remuneration. Remuneration to a sub-agent is paid by the agent. Remuneration to the co-agent is paid by the principal. Difference between the sub-agent and the co-agent. Paris directs the deal, the solicitor to sell his estate by the auction and employ an auctioneer for the purchase. Adil names Aslam as auctioneer to conduct the sale. Aslam is not the sub-agent but is agent of the Paris for the conduct of the sale. What is the difference between the sub-agent and the co-agent? Parveen authorizes Asif, a merchant in Multan, to recover the money due to Parveen from the Talha. Asif instructs the Arslan, a solicitor, to take the legal proceedings against the Talha for the recovery of the money. Arslan is not a sub-agent but a fully fledged agent of the Parveen. Creation of the agency. An agency relationship does not have to be a written agreement between the principal and the agent, although it will certainly help to remove much of the uncertainty. If there is a written agency agreement, there are the ways in which the agency relationships recognized in law can be established. Written agreement. In many cases, relationship is established formally in writing. This written agreement would be a contractual agreement between the principal and agent. Verbal agreement. An agency agreement may also be established by the verbal agreement, although both parties may need to provide proof of the verbal agreement in the event that one party subsequently derives that the agreement ever took place. Power of the attorney. The principal may wish to give the agent the power to execute deeds. A deed is a form of the written legal document and it is executed by the signature. In these cases, the agent must be appointed by deed. When an agent is appointed by deed, he is given a power of attorney to act for the principal. The scope of authority. When an agency is created by agreement, the agreement will usually specify the ways in which the agent has authority to act on behalf of a principal. The agreement should therefore make it clear between the principal and the agent what the agent is allowed to do on the behalf of a principal and so what he is not allowed to do. Agency by the ratification. An agency relationship may be created retrospectively by the ratification. This may happen when a person who does not actually have actual authority as an agent negotiate with the third party claiming to be an agent of a named principal. The agent may negotiate a transaction between the third party and so-called the principal. At this stage, there is no agency relationship. However, a person who has been named as the principal might choose to accept the contract with the third party. This gives the validity in the retrospect to the actions of a person claiming to act as an agent of a named principal. An agency relationship is created by the ratification. Ratification means giving approval or to giving validity to something. If the actions of a person claiming to be an agent and not ratified by a person, named as a principal, and there is no proof that an agency arrangement exists by the agreement. The contract is between the agent personally and the other party. If the other party suffers a loss due to the breach of a contract by the so-called agent, he would have to take action against the so-called agent to recover any losses suffered, because the so-called agent is actually the other party to the contract. Effect of the ratification. Ratification is established from the time of the formation of the contract with the ratifier of the act and the person who did the act. A contractual relationship is established between the ratifier and the third party. Requisites of a valid ratification. Following are the requisites for a valid ratification. An act to get the ratified should be done on the behalf of a person who wants to ratify it. Since the ratification has a retrospective application, it is necessary that the ratifier must be in the existence at the time when the contract is entered into and also at the time of the ratification. Since the ratification has retrospective application, it is necessary that the ratifier must be competent to contract at the time when the contract is entered into and also at the time of a ratification. Only lawful acts can be ratified. There cannot be ratification of partial transaction for a ratification to be effective, which transaction must be ratified. The person ratifying the transaction must have the complete knowledge of a transaction in the question, else ratification will not be valid. No act can be ratified which may result in damage to the third party. Ratification must be made with a reasonable time. What is the reasonable time in a question of the facts? Example, agency by the ratification. Azim insured Pasha's goods without authority. If Pasha ratifies Azim's act, the policy will be as valid if Azim has been authorized to insure of a goods. Example, another example, agency by the ratification. Adil without authority buys goods for Paris. Afterward, the Paris sells them from Tariq on his own account. Paris conduct implies a ratification of a purchase made for him by the Adil. Thank you so much.